Hey everybody, Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode on the PitForge Vanilla server. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of building the Enderman farm. So at the start of today's episode, we're going to head back to base and gather a load of materials to keep going with this project. And I did mention this in the last episode, but take a look at the video quality. We're now recording at 60 FPS instead of 30, and I think things are looking a lot better. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Anyway, back to the episode. It isn't actually purple dye that we're going to need, it's magenta dye because that's the lighter version. The purple's a bit too dark, and it's like why I used the light blue in the tube. I didn't use normal dark blue because I think it's just too dark for the nether. So we're out looking for those two tall, I don't actually know what they're called. They're the lilacs, that's the one. They're two high plants and they drop magenta dye similar to the rose red bushes. So we're off on a hunt to go and find a couple of those, and then we can just bone meal up the rest. So we should be able to get this nice and easily, which is great. There we go. That's one, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. So let's pop down here. There are quite a few around here. Excellent. So let's just have a look here. Oh, this is a peony. Oh, they drop pink dye. That's not the right ones. Well, you know what? We'll grab a couple of these because I'm sure we're going to need pink dye at some time in the future. And do I need to break the bottom one? Oh, that was very silly. Okay. Well, we do have a few of those now for the future, and I'm going to need to keep flying and find myself the lilacs. There we go, I have spotted some over here, but it is night time, and there's all sorts of things trying to stop me from getting these, but we have our lilacs. We only need a few, we can bone meal up the rest, so I'll just grab these few and get out of here before I die. Quickly, nope. That was a little bit close. Well, would you look at that? I just got home and I noticed there's a lilac on the island. This is a forest biome, so there's probably quite a lot of them around. There's certainly peonies, they are all over the place. So I really didn't think about that very well, but we've got them now and it didn't take too long, so it's not that much of a problem. Just to let you guys know, to keep you in the loop, basically at the moment I am just waiting for a bunch of sand to smelt up for obvious reasons, and I don't really have a lot to do in the meantime, so I'm trying to be productive, and what I'm going to be doing is basically taking down all of these birch trees while I'm waiting for stuff like this, because to get through a stack of sand in a furnace takes quite a long time, and I can actually get through a big chunk of this, and if I keep doing this every single time I basically am looking for something to do, then I think we're really going to make a lot of progress on clearing out this island. So this is only something that I started doing recently, but over time you might see that every now and again, oh, there might be like a patch of trees which is no longer there anymore, and that's just because I've had to basically do this while I was waiting around on something else. So I figured it's good to be productive, so I'm going to crack on and get rid of a load of these trees while I wait. And that is why. I mean, seriously, look at that. That is incredible. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, almost 7 stacks of logs just in the time it was taking to do that furnace. So that was spent very productively. Those are on those last few items now, and then we can head back over and where's my wood chest and get on with the build. Oh, terrific. I came all the way here. My shulker box is still placed down next to my other ender chest, so I'm going to have to pop back and get that one. That was a bit silly. So when I was actually expanding out this platform, I kept making it bigger and bigger, and then I finally went, yep, I'm happy with that size. And then I started building these little corner bits up, and I went up 3 blocks, and I was like, well, no, that's not enough. When I went 4 and then 5, I've settled on 6. I think if I can keep doing this forever and keep making it bigger and bigger, but I think this is going to be more than big enough, and I think it's really going to look really impressive at the end. So now, I do have everything with me, I believe. Yep, okay, so let's take, say, 4 stacks of glass for now, and we'll take those 2, and our dye is in our ender chest down there, so I'll go pop over it and get that in a second, put all of the glass in and see how it looks. Oh, no. Every time. I need a trapdoor, don't I? Well, this is something I didn't think about, isn't it? Okay, what are we going to do about this? I think probably the best bet is going to be if I put stone slabs on the floor. Although, I did say that I was going to fill the floor with glass, didn't I? And Enderman cannot spawn on glass. So maybe this won't be so much of a problem after all. I'm going to build it all, and I think it's not going to be a problem. We might have to just put slabs in a couple different areas, but it should all be fine. Alright, well this is what we've got so far. I've put in the 4 walls, and I think it's looking really nice. I think it looks very nice against the sandstone, and obviously the purpley colour is very relevant to the dimension that we are in, being the end. Now I have run out of glass, so I'm going to go get some more of that to finish off the roof, because I made this area so much bigger than I was planning to. But that's fine. I also need to go and get some stone so that we can get those slabs in, because I think stone's going to look nice. And I might even bring some quartz actually as well, just thinking about it, because quartz slabs against this would probably also look quite nice. So not only did a creeper blow up, he took out every single furnace. I mean, what are the chances that he would literally hit everyone? He also just got that bed, and that's our current home point. So if I die, I'm on the way back to spawn with no elytra to get back, and I'll have to walk 1,300 blocks. On top of that, we probably just lost 30% of the cobble and the coal that we had in there. So things are going really great. Okay, so the slabs have now been put in and I think they look very nice, but the next problem that we need to address is the fact that this room is currently 5 blocks tall, which means Endermen are going to be able to teleport from their area into here with no problem and move freely about the place, which is going to be a problem. So how we're going to solve that is we're going to build up 1, 2, and on the 3rd block, at the top of the block, we're going to place in a slab. What that's going to leave us with is 2 floors. So if you can imagine, if we build this all the way around, it's going to create 2 floors to this area. So the bottom floor is going to be 2.5 blocks tall, then we have the half block in between, and if we were up on the 2nd floor, you'd see that it is 1, 2 blocks tall before we hit the roof. Now what that means is that we won't have the problem of Enderman being able to be anywhere within this room because there simply won't be a space that is big enough for them. So down on the bottom layer here, we're going to have stuff like the enchantment tables and the anvils, and then I thought up on the 2nd layer, we could just have a load of chests as bulk storage because this thing is going to get some serious ender pearls. So that's the plan, going to put in the roof now. And there we go, the roof is all done now. So we've got 2.5 blocks to play with here, and then we've got this ladder in the middle at the back, added in the sandstone pillar to place it on because we can't place ladders on glass. And then we come up to the top here and we've got our bulk storage room, which will have a lot of chests here in the future. Unless I think of a different use for it, but to be honest, I think that's probably the best bet so far. From up here as well, we can also get a pretty decent view of the tube that they're all going to be falling down, which I think when this thing is up and running will actually look really good because there's going to be quite a lot coming through. I think now we're going to have to get rid of this middle sort of pillar going up with the ladder on it and move it right to the edge of the platform because we still need a way to get up and down. But once we place in our endermite up the top, we're not going to be able to use this ladder to get back down because there's going to be so many endermen going through. So let's get on with that and then we can go and put in our endermite. So here's the new pillar we built with the ladder going up all the way from the bottom there, and we've got another one going into the main sort of killing zone, which I'll show you later on in the episode, but for now let's get that endermite set up. So this area is extremely well lit, there are way too many torches here, but I just wanted to make sure no endermen were going to be spawning while we were doing this. So we want to come into the middle, and then on the 3rd block, this is where our endermite is going to sit. And in fact, let's turn this into smooth sandstone, because I think that looks a little bit nicer. Like so, these are just temporary blocks, so we don't have to worry about those, we can actually get rid of those now. Now what we want to do is build a little room for this guy to go into, temporarily, so it needs to be 2 blocks wide, and so let's like make it, say, 4 long, and we need to add a wall around this, and it needs to be 2 blocks high. The reason for that is so that when he spawns in a moment, he can't get out, because he's going to be stuck 2 blocks deep. I also have in my inventory the rail and the minecart, so let's go like this, and get the minecart. Now we're going to place that there and then stand in this block here because this is where we want the endermite to spawn. And the reason for that is that we need to name him with this name tag in our inventory before he goes in the cart. So I've got to stand here and just throw these over and over again until we get one. There we go, we got him. It actually took quite a few ender pearls. We went on 5 into our 2nd stack, but we've got our name tag, and I call it typical username because now I can say that this farm wouldn't have been possible without typical username. And he, oh no, he escaped. Oh no, let's get him back in there. It's okay, he'll follow us, Alright, he's back in, so we need to jump down and basically push the minecart into him, and then, come on, get in the minecart. Nope, this is not going to plan. There we go, he's in, we've got him. Now I need to break myself out because he's attacking me. Oops, he has got some damage, hasn't he? Alright, so now we basically need to just get him in position. And what block is that over? We need to get the middle one. So it's going to be this block here it needs to be in line with, which is the one on the left, I believe. Yep, okay, so he's in position, but we're going to have to move him and take the rails out first. There we go, he is now in position. All we need to do is place this glass on top of him, and the reason for that is just so that he cannot get attacked, because there's going to be a block either side of him where Enderman could teleport up to potentially, so it's just to give him a little bit of extra protection. Now we can break pretty much all of the sandstone blocks around him. And here is typical username. He's come online and he's going to have a look at what we've been doing here. And the reason I think I got interrupted in the last clip that we named the Endermite after him was so that I could say, yeah, he's not going to risk it. He's trying to see the name of it. But the reason it's named after him is so that I can say that I couldn't have built this without typical. And it's kind of true in a way, because he made things a lot easier by coming and taking out the dragon the other day, so we didn't have to worry about him when we were coming back and forth, which was nice. But what we've done is we've put these as slabs, and what we need to do now, finally, is add in some trapdoors around the outsides here. And also... Oh no. Okay guys, so I realised that this guy's actually one block too low. So I think I can piston him up. If I just pop him up a block, he might be okay, and then move the glass up a block as well. And then once I've done that, these two aren't actually going to be here, so the slabs and the sandstone either side of him are going to get removed as well. So I think typical, he's going to give me a little bit of redstone, and I'm going to try and piston him up one block. Okay, so in theory, this definitely should work. I know it works if this minecart is empty, but I'm not sure about with the endermite in it. So let's move this block to start with, and we've got our piston set up underneath, and flick. Excellent, so if we undo that, there we go, we've put them up a block higher, so that has fixed that problem nicely. I have also added in all of the trapdoors, as you can see, apart from that one needs to go down. I just activated it with the redstone there. But I think that this thing's looking pretty good. We can get rid of these two blocks as well. And how minimalistic is this for a design? Oh, we do need to put the glass back on top, cannot forget that. That is a very, very important piece, so we'll do that, and then I think we're ready to turn this thing on. Now basically how this works is we have the trapdoors going away all around the outside here, and what this does is it tricks the enderman into thinking that there is a block here that they are able to stand on. So as they come over to track the endermite in the middle, they run up to him and they think they can stand here, so they fall off and they fall down, and the drop should leave them on half a heart. That would be horrible to find out, wouldn't it? To find out they die and they drop. If we do, then we can sort it out, but it should be right. So the next thing we have to do finally is take out all the torches. I think Typical is going to help me to do that. So let's get rid of them all, and things are going to start spawning in very quickly, so we want to just get these done as quickly as we can and then head back down to the main platform where we're going to be killing them from. Yep, Typical is helping me out, that's very nice of him. There we go, you can see we have our first enderman he basically saw the endermite and he ran straight over into the middle and then fell down to the hole. Now we're not going to get the best spawn rates here at the moment. Oh, I'm glad Typical's getting that because I completely forgot. They can't spawn in this area because it's only too high, but we are now going to run back down. Oh man. Oh, there's an enderman angry at me. I've done that so many times. I think Typical thinks that that was him. No, that was me, buddy. That was me. I hope Typical doesn't run in my way either because I'm attacking an enderman. Okay, he's gone. He's gone. Let's go see how the drops are going. We should be getting a lot higher spawn rates now that we are nowhere near the platform. I can hear them dropping. And wow, look at that. Look how many we have already. And this thing is working, and I'm assuming in one hit... Oh, it works. Excellent. Look at all of that experience. All the ender pearls have dropped. Most of them are going to go into the chest here, along with all of the things that I spilt when I was building this. But yeah, Typical is impressed with this. And let's have a look up here, because I did want to look at the tube. What? There's none coming anymore. As soon as I went up and looked, do I need to kill some before more are coming? Okay, well I just changed the entity cramming up to a maximum of 100, so I'm not sure if that's going to affect things. I know they are spawning in now again, seeing as Typical started killing some, so hopefully that improves things, but look at this, look how many endermen we're getting, that looks insane. And when we come down to here, they all drop in a nice 3x3, you can see Typical's getting a load of levels there, and we're all getting a load of ender pearls, so this thing is not just going to be helpful for us, but definitely helpful to all of the other forges on the server as well. I am super happy about this project. It took a very long time, hence having to do it over the 2 episodes, but I think the final product that we've got set up here is really, really great. So Typical just suggested something which I think is a really great idea. He did notice that some of the XP was actually getting stuck in the hoppers, because for those of you who don't know, you can actually drop down slightly if you stand in the middle of a hopper, and that's where the experience orbs are getting stuck. So what we're going to do is add in some carpets on top of the hoppers here, and that should mean that nothing gets stuck. So we're off to go and get that wall now, and we're also going to get some other stuff while we're back at the base. I am actually at spawn at the moment because if you remember, the creeper blew up our bed, didn't he? So we can't spawn back, so we're going to fly over, just going to get up to a hill so I can get going on the Elytra. But we're also back at the base going to get a load of enchanting gear together, so the enchantment table, the bookshelves, a load of lapis and an anvil and all that sort of stuff, because then that area should be pretty much finished. So Typical just popped offline, and I think the easiest way of getting this carpet down, because we're not going to be able to place it with all of these guys on here, is for Typical to go up and block their path temporarily while I go and kill them all. So I'll wait for him to get back before I do that. But we do have everything else we need. So enchantment table in the corner here, 15 bookcases all the way around the outside, so that'll give us our max level 30 enchantments. And this is not going to be a permanent setup, guys. I think that we can actually do quite a lot inside this room. Besides that, the exterior, we've got all the nice boxy glass look. I think we can do a lot inside as well in terms of decoration, but we're going to focus more on that in a later episode as a touch-up, because there's also a lot of work to do with this bridge to get over here. It is completely unsafe at the moment and very dangerous. So we will be doing that in the future, but for now, this is going to be its home. And we've also got a double chest here, and an anvil. And I brought over a couple stacks of lapis for the forgers to use. And Typical's back, so now let's get on with that carpet. Alright, so just putting in like a 2-high barrier here. And Typical's going to kill all the Endermen down below. And as he does that, a lot more are going to spawn in. Well, not a lot more because I'm stood up here, but even one would be a bit of a pain. So once he's placed down that carpet, which he's doing at the moment, I think he's going to type something in chat. I can remove this wall and then pop back down to the bottom. How are you going down there, Typical? Let's have a little look-see. Oh man, there's a lot of Endermen down there. Oh man, is he still killing them all? I think that's going to take him a minute. Okay, the carpet is all now in place, and you'll notice there's actually a lot of Endermen popping around on the glass at the top there. I looked down the hole, didn't I? And I looked at a load, and I got them all angry, and they teleported on top of the room, which was a little bit silly. But I relogged, and apparently that makes them not mad at you anymore. So that's a fun way to do it if you guys can find a use for that. It certainly helped me out a lot just then. All right, let's pop down and see how it's looking now. Okay, so the carpet's been put in now, and I think it's looking really great, and hopefully we won't get that problem with the XP getting stuck anymore. So let's just give it a quick test. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Look at all that experience. And the reason that the ender pearls are still there is because this chest is already completely full up. It got full up after about a couple minutes of Typical using it. It really is filling up quickly. Now Typical is actually up on the roof at the moment. He's putting these stone slabs as a perimeter all the way around, as you can see, and then he's going to fill in the middle bit with water, so it's very helpful with him, and that's going to look very good when it's done, and is obviously pretty much a necessity for this build. Well, this is officially my new favourite thing on PitForge. I went up to this level of 36 in about a minute. It's been about 60 seconds since I recorded the last clip, and my inventory is completely filled up in that time as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. This thing is seriously fast. In fact, I'm going to make up a couple chests now just to go and stick up the top to put all these ender pearls in, because I just don't need this many. This is ridiculous. I'm sure the forgers are going to be able to get us loads of XP, ender pearls rather, as well, and fill this area up, because I'm sure that a lot of these will be using this as their main XP source. And look at that. How amazing does that look? That is a screenshot for Instagram if I ever saw one. I am super happy with how this turned out, and Typical is on the way to do the roof, and I think that looks really nice as well. Let's pop up actually and see what's going on. Yep, that's coming along nicely. Well, there you have it, guys. The Enderman farm is completely done now. It was a great project to do. It took a long time, but it's going to be very helpful, not just for us, but for everyone else on the server too. I hope you did enjoy today's episode, and as always, I will see you very soon for the next one. Thanks for watching.